I'm playing the Undertale soundtrack.
Nice.
It's gonna be a Toby themed. It's gonna be a Toby themed month.
Nice.
Shit. Oh, I forgot to announce that I'm on. I'll do that in 2 seconds. I'm just doing a quick warm-up practice for the hand challenge. Because I'm still going to do that. Because I think it would be extremely funny.
Oh shit, I didn't even notice that.
I gotta tell people. Okay. Guess this one's fine. Oh, shit. Oh wait, did I think I fucked up. I think my... No, I'm good. Okay. Ah, shit. Some of these you have to really kind of ignore the fucking reference because it just doesn't look good. That one's a good one, I guess. Yeah, I mean it's definitely possible to keep these under the 2 minute on average. Yo, Bato. Oi. We're doing a quick warm up because I want in a couple days I want to stream the stupid 300. Yeah, I'm sort of practicing hands. Basically, it's hard to explain, but basically I want to do the 300 hand challenge on stream because I want to the dude who did it, I already forgot his name, but I want to show that he was acting when he pretended it was so grueling. I want to prove that he was actually in fact acting for content and misleading the audience. Because I think that's kind of a degenerate thing to do. I want to show that drawing 300 hands in a day is not actually that taxing. So I'm just making sure I find a system for doing them that I can do them in under between 2 to 3 minutes on average, and they don't look terrible, and they're from reference. I haven't drawn from real life reference in like a long time, and I got to get used to the fact that like some of them, like this one for example, just don't really look that good if you stick too close to the reference. So we're just gonna put like I don't know, 15 minutes of practice into this for a bit until I feel like most of them go smoothly. It's just occasionally I get one like this where the reference just does not help at all, and I end up having to basically redraw it. When we can learn how to watch out for these ones, that's when I'll do it. So the challenge is you're allowed to do ones from imagination, but to keep the challenge consistent, I have to do it like him and mostly go off a reference. Mostly photo reference. So that's what the challenge is. And you leave them in sketched form. Like you don't like do like a clean finish. You just do it. You just leave them in a sketch form. Yeah. So like ones like I think the main thing is like ones where the way that the fingers are interacting is just like kind of too organic. I think those are the ones you should probably. I think those are the ones I should probably ignore the reference for the most and just, you know, kind of do my own thing inspired by it. Like this one was such a disaster. There's just no way to get it to look that good being faithful to the reference. So I'm gonna X that guy out. But yeah, like one like this. This one's like it. You can usually. I mean, at this point, I can just sort of feel it when the reference is going to easily produce a good picture. I'm both not as good at drawing as the dude who did it, nor as used to drawing from photos as him. So that's why I'm giving myself a warm-up period handicap. I think that makes it fair. But the point is, I don't like seeing people because it reminds me. Because like I said, I mean, I follow Western art too for a while. I've followed it since like the old days, and I really don't like the. It reminds me of the type of, you know, kind of culture they spread where it's like. Recently, they've been kind of leaning on this like pseudo relatability platform of like it's almost like they're trying to present art as something simpler than it is, and as always anime and stuff ends up getting the brunt of that because basically if you have a guy sitting there saying like, oh look, it's even hard for me to draw hands, and he's just totally making this up, and he keeps saying it's difficult for him for the reason it's difficult for like a beginner, like, oh, foreshortening's hard and I gotta remember the anatomy and stuff, and like he's basically just pulling people's leg to contrive relatability and stuff. it always ends up going back to, well, there's no way like drawing can actually be that complicated. Therefore, anime really is simplified. Therefore, anime must really, in fact, be just simple. It must be simplified anatomy. It must just be. Anyway, it always ends up going back to. It always ends up going back to otaku, the most oppressed race, getting oppressed once again. So that's why I want to do a. That's why I want to do a challenge thing, and set the record a little more straight. Some of these, especially too, the arm can especially make it. If you don't do the arm a certain way, it can make it look a lot worse. I gotta watch out. This one's mostly fine, but there's a few areas I'm gonna have to be careful of. Like, for example, the especially ones I find where the fingers get crunched, end up looking too stubby. That almost always looks bad. So you kind of gotta find ways to draw a little bit more length out of some of them, especially because like when real hands get scrunched, they can end up being like very unattractive, and it's just a thing to watch out for. Oh, you've been doing feet, yeah. I'm no good with I'm no good with feet, to be honest. Yo, Nova. I was cooking. Yeah, it's the rhythm game thing is honestly kind of hard. I think that was the first spot. I think I died once there, if I remember. All right, we're gonna do one more and then do some real work. This one is a real nasty bony one. Stuff with the flaunts, the kind of boniness and stuff. Those ones tend to be kind of easy to take at face value because they tend to get like sharper contours and stuff that do tend to work in 2D fairly easily. There are a few things to watch out for, like how much you should actually exaggerate how much you should exaggerate or not the bends, because that can get kind of weird. I think in general, a rule of thumb to follow with these is going to be like if two adjacent fingers when grouped don't form a nice silhouette, then don't take the reference at face value. I think that's probably the best rule of thumb with these. No pun intended. I would say. Yeah, like I'm not liking how much this one, like this needs to sink down more, which is probably going to mean these need to lower more, or it's just not going to create. Yeah, that's the problem with the contortion shit, is it can just generally look unnatural. Like I'm not even gonna look I'm just gonna fix this one entirely. I don't even care what the photo looks like. Because a lot of time too, especially with the bony hands, is that like the bony hands can sometimes still have like an awkward amount of width to them, which can end up making it look really weird. If you end up actually drawing literally what you see, because then you can get these really weird bony fingers, but the palm is still kind of like wider than you would normally like want it to be to look good. So it's just something I gotta keep in mind. Because basically the main time consumer is like when you try to go off the reference, and then the reference ends up producing something not good, and then you have to redraw a bunch of parts like I'm doing right now. That's usually the thing that's going to push it over 2 minutes. Because if you can just get a good one right at the start, it's usually going to stay under 2 minutes. This is a little funky, but it's kind of suitable for the standards of the challenge. The goal is not to make everyone look necessarily that good. Let's do one more. Let's do one more. Yeah, this one should be good. I think this one should read, especially when the thumb has like a good silhouette to anchor it. That's usually going to be a big factor. How nice the palm ends up looking is a huge factor as well. Like how much the palm inherently articulates a gesture is typically a big factor in how much you can take the reference at face value. This track is so, oh my god, I can't stand this track. It's so fruity. I don't know how much you can hear it. I try to keep the music kind of low. This is, of course, the Gyak 10 Saibon track. If you're not aware, look up Gyak 10 Saibon Turnabout Sisters. Yeah, sure enough, this one went fine. So I think I'm starting to catch on to like the rules effectively for like how to go about this. I guess we will do one last one. Well, this one's a two-hander. When you get the dude in the challenge mostly avoided two hands interacting because they tend to spike the difficulty. Like two hands interacting with each other tends to be a lot harder than drawing two hands individually, which is obviously why he avoided it. Especially when drawing from reference, there's a lot of cases where they tend to just not look natural. If you stick even remotely close to the reference. But I just want to try this one real quick and see what happens. This one might be okay because it has a specific like. Well, see, I want to not use the. I want to kind of ban the lasso for the challenge because I think he didn't lasso at all. So I would like to keep the lasso out. Yo, Elnu, Neko. Hello, my fellow otaku. Yeah, it would be nice to keep the lasso banned for the challenge. Let's see. Yeah, see, I think the issue with this one, and I think this is what we're going to find when it comes to two hands interacting, the hand in the back, like even if you could see the photo I'm working off of, even in the photo, the hand in the back doesn't look that much like a hand in the first place. Because just so much of it is kind of occluded. And I think that's the biggest issue when it comes to drawing, doing the ones with two hands interacting, is if one of them is not clearly, hand-like enough, you're going to get a little bit of an issue. Because you're going to have this one hand that's interacting with like kind of a amorphous object, and then especially because we're not rendering, because there's no rendering in the challenge, especially because you're not rendering, it can be increasingly hard to know like what you're even looking at here. So I'll probably avoid anyone like this as well, but the rest should be fine. So I think that's it for now. How many did we do? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 technically. 7, 8, 9. Okay. All right, let's do some actual work. Exactly, DeVirus. Exactly, yeah. Bada votes lasso should be okay. Oh, swill. Yeah, exactly, Elno. I remember actually speaking of Toby and Undertale, I remember Temmie making a tweet about that once, how she took a picture of her hand because she was frustrated one time, and I think as she put it, then I remembered my hand looks like a wrongly drawn hand. I'm just going to draw a Sunako hand real quick just to...
She said my hand looks like a poorly drawn.
My hand looks like a poorly drawn hand.
I want to encourage you just because I like the quote so much.
Yes.
It's a very good quote.
It's a very good quote, exactly. I'm going to draw a Sunako hand real quick because I want to set my... I don't want to lose track. I don't want to lose stylistic track of them. I don't want to lose stylistic goals here. So I think the main thing with the challenge is just, gonna know what, which of those like landmines to avoid, and with that, it should be pretty easy to do. 3 minutes a hand is not bad. If you average 3 minutes a hand, the challenge takes 15 hours, and I have definitely drawn for 15 hours before, so. I honestly like hands a lot. They're pretty much my favorite part of the body. So, can you draw a rhino nose? Yeah, we're not gonna try to keep it under 10 hours, Neko. We're gonna let it. We're gonna try to keep it under 15 hours, so 3 minutes. The goal is to get some hands done in under 3 minutes to save time if one ends up taking a long time. Because there's always going to be there's inevitably going to be the tricky ones that take a while. So if we could save time on ones that are faster, that's ideal. Ideally, there will be some that only take a minute or even less. I've gotten compliments about the way my hands look before. People would say I have piano fingers. That's pretty sick. Yeah, some people are. It's just like a genetic thing. Like some people are just blessed with attractive hands, and it's like in Zoolander, you got like the hand model. Some people just have aesthetic hands. Some people just don't have aesthetic hands. It matters how you pose them, obviously, too. Like a good photographer could probably make anyone's hands look nice if you're a good enough photographer. But yeah, there is not all hands are born equal. Yeah, King Britannia, yeah. This one's freaking weird. That went too long. No, Neko. We're using the challenge is to use photo reference for most of them. Some of them you can do non-reference, and honestly, non-reference will make it faster because I can just do one I'm really used to. Like for example, like I could whip out like a hand pose, like there's some hand poses I have that I can whip out like really quick, like something like that. You know what I mean? Like we can do a few from imagination to save time. But for the most part, you're supposed to stick to photo references for the challenge. But you're allowed to do like a few imagination ones. Like I don't know exactly how many. We'll figure it out. Like I'll set a limit on how many imagination ones you're allowed. When I go to do the challenge, I'll set a actual hard limit on how many imaginations you're allowed. I think it's gonna be something small, like probably not more than like 15 or something. Yeah, like I don't know how long that took, but that was pretty quick. So like, obviously, like imagination saves time because you can just do the ones you're used to. The finger's kind of long. But yeah, so. Yeah, I would, Caro. That's not in a disparaging way, but it's just photography is simply less deep than drawing and painting. Like there's no getting around that. Like it takes less skill to be a good photographer than it does to get a to be a good art. It's a significantly less deep medium, but that doesn't mean it's like bad or anything. Like I'm not like against photography. Yo, hello, concave. Yeah, exactly. Fingernails are really organic like that. How would you react if I told you I've been coked the whole time? I would kneel because I don't think coke is I just called him coke. I don't think coke is capable of I do not believe coke is capable of keeping a disguise for that long. That's my opinion. I think also I would notice by the well, there's just too many factors. You'd have to create like a whole backstory for yourself, like a whole origin story that's different from his. Yeah, it's too high level for. No offense to Coke, nothing against Coke. Coke has come a long way. Coke, but I think it's just too complex. Cope's more of a simple man. Anyway, all right, let's get some work done. I thought he was talking about drugs. I think it's basically just basically composition, because yeah, it's like 90%, if not 95% composition. Like obviously there's some like shape design in it, because it's like depending on like how exactly you switch it. Like someone's like contours change depending on exactly the angle you take, and also you have to tell them what to do in terms of posing. So obviously there's some gesture and there's a little bit of shape knowledge in it, but it's almost entirely just composition. Yeah. All right, so let's get some. What we're gonna do real quick is I've been coding in the shield, the substitute thing, and it works, except it needs a sprite and stuff for the. It doesn't work yet on the enemy side, so we just need to get the enemy side. We need to get the shield. We need to get the shield to work on the enemy side. Yeah, exactly. Landscape photography is literally 70% just finding a nice landscape and then having the right equipment and then snapping the snapshot at the right time of the day and being blessed with a day with good weather. That's like, it's much more of a like physical activity. Like it's more similar to like hiking or mountain climbing than it is actual art. Not to say it's not artistic, but it's much less artistic than even like 3D. Even like 3D is more artistic. When you get popular, someone's going to draw your characters in fat, black, manly bodies in a Steven Universe art style, then proceed to accuse you of whitewash. I'm excited. That'll mean I made it, if that happens. Oh, that makes sense, Caro. Yeah, because that's like an easy way to make it more interesting, for sure. It's like, that's very like Futsukushi core too. Like, obviously you had like, reflections have been like so meta with landscapes since I guess like dudes like Shinkai kind of popularizing that type of thing. Actually, let's do this. Let's do that. Yeah. Yeah, exactly, DeVirus. Like, it's definitely it's a real thing for sure. Like, it's not like I'm not trying to knock photographers. It's not like it's not like if someone asked me to photograph a wedding or whatever, I'd be able to do it like right now. I'd probably need, months of training first, but that's months of training. That's not like infinity years of training. Like, let's put it this way. If you're my level at art, you are guaranteed that as long as you practice with the camera for like, probably at most a year, you're probably going to be good enough to be wanted to photograph weddings or something. If I want to be an animation character designer, it's possible that I don't have enough talent, and no matter how many hours I train, it will never be enough. It's like, that's the difference we're talking about. It's like, it's the difference between you definitely can do this thing in a reasonable amount of time, and you might never be able to do it no matter how hard you try. All right, so what we're going to do is shrink this thing down a little bit, because it's not supposed to be that big. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger just for effect than it like normally would be. So I guess we'll do like So we'll kind of bump it up like that, just because it'll look better if it's a little bit bigger. It's like, because of the depth, the ambiguous depth anyway, we're kind of free to make it whatever size we want, because it could just imply it's like, you know, we could just apply it's closer to you. I think we want to do, shit, I guess like that. This gray is kind of throwing me off. Also, we gotta lower her opacity. Wait, is that a mistake in the shield? No. No, that's fine. Oh, there is. There's a fucking... There is a mistake on the shield spray. There's an open area down there. I'm gonna have to fix that. I'm actually gonna fix that right now, real quick, on the sprite sheet. Sometimes when it's like a tiny error like that, like a transparency error, sometimes I'll just go right to the sprite sheet. I'll just fix it right on the sprite sheet instead of like rebuilding a new sprite sheet, because it's just not worth the time to... It's just not always worth the time to make a whole new sprite sheet. There's a lot of cases where it is just not worth it. If it's like, sometimes though, like you got to know like when to throw in the towel. Like if there's like an annoying issue that's like plaguing every single one of the sprites, then yeah, you gotta fix that. Like you gotta fix that on the actual file. But if it's something like this where I'm just going in and I'm just gonna drop black on each one, it's really not a big deal. Alright, that'll do it. Okay. Nova, the one thing I regret is I wish I knew about how blast sooner based. Yeah, I hear you, Bato. I mean, it's a very good 3-year haul, so you should count your blessings. But yeah, it's hard stuff. I think what makes film or digital in terms of photography. Well, I mean, like obviously film photography is just more valuable because well, that's the thing, you can do composite even when you shoot with film. You can do digital compositing. You can even do a lot of impressive analog compositing. So that's like the problem. It's not like, oh, just because it's film you're getting like a more authentic photograph. Like you can totally do compositing shit even with film. So it's kind of like, I don't know. I think it's kind of a dumb idea to even think about in the first place. But like, I would say by default, physical film is more valuable than digital film. Oh shit, I think my mom showed up. Hold on. It's my Okay, so some food airdrop from mom. But yeah, so let's see. Yeah, that's true, Nova. Exactly. Yeah, true, Devirus. Yeah. Um, Neko, how would I define art? I actually have a pretty interesting, very interesting thought out answer for that. I'll tell you in a sec. I'm very happy with my progress of the last year in particular, because I I thought I wasn't going to get any actual like big drawing buffs this year because of having to focus on the game and stuff, but it ended up not being exactly like that. The other thing is too is that working on the game helped me develop a lot of like efficiency and shit. Like, well, yeah, exactly, concave. Like consistency. Like working on, I would go as far to say that like the main thing that's going to build consistency and why you actually shouldn't worry about consistency that much for a while is a lot of consistency comes from you've worked on a project and you had a workflow and you had a specific standard that you set the project to, and you just keep doing the project at that consistency and that standard and stuff. That is a huge part. That is a huge part of consistency. Yeah, that's the problem, Bada. It's just like the type of stuff like the type of stuff like we ideally want to be like is just like retarded. Like it's so like the best people are so good. It's comical. So it's like it's really hard to actually ever feel. I mean, that's why like it's not super rare to see people who are good as shit have meltdowns about not feeling good. It happens. So like it's just one of those things where like I handle it pretty well because I'm not like I don't actually have that much I don't have that much like artistic pride in the sense of like I don't feel that competitive by nature because it's for me it's a means to an end. It's it's something I learned after the fact, to make projects like this. So it doesn't affect me as much, but it's still one of those things. Okay, so now we need to make it so that it's I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna take like this whole half. We're just gonna like pull it out. We're gonna dupe that. But yeah, so what I would art isn't even this isn't even my final form. Yeah, I think some people are pulling your leg when they say that. In my case, I honestly mean it. That's not to say I don't care about it, and that's not to say I didn't put in a crap ton of effort. And I'm genuinely not just saying that to avoid judgment. It's actually true in my case, but yeah, I feel like some people are pulling your leg when they say that. I feel like some people just don't want to be judged. Because it's like, okay, well then what is your main thing? Is your main thing, do you have a main thing that you're like, you know, that you are ridiculously prideful over and, you know, feeling hyper competitive about. Because if you don't have that, then, you know, then art is your main thing. What's the shield look like? Okay. We're gonna put it here so we remember what it looks like. If you are desperate to get as good as possible, Saito Naiki says draw 30. Yeah, 13 hours is probably the sweet spot if you're trying to be really competitive. Because it's just enough time to give you a break at the end of the day, but because if you go overboard, you're gonna get health problems, and it's not enough time to get like mental and physical rest and exercise and stuff in. Catch him hatred losing based doctor. Yeah, that's difficult to work with Nova. Yeah, for sure. That is difficult. Yeah, the virus. Yeah, just get better than you. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. There's a good there's definitely some kind of good like Japanese like yoji to represent this, like, you know, I don't know, Hibitanren, I don't know, just it's like you know, one of my favorite, it's actually a secondhand quote, it's him quoting someone else, but he's the one who brought it to my attention. Raymond Carver has this really good quote. Again, it's not his quote, it's someone else's, but it was like, it's one of his favorite quotes. I don't know who said it, but he said, in this case, it's writing, but you can apply it to anything. It's like, write every day without hope or despair. And that's just mad true and mad good. Like, you know, don't get manic, don't get depressive. Just be a machine. All right, this looks fucking stupid. Obviously, okay, if the shield has... Okay, if that's the side view, then obviously the shield must have, like, things sticking up out of the corners like that. Like that. But yeah... Nishin Geppo. Am I reading that right? That's a very good. I like that Yoji a lot. Yeah, because it emphasizes, yes, Nishin Geppo. It emphasizes, you know, like check your progress like on like a monthly basis. Like, don't worry. You know, don't stress day to day. Think in bigger strokes. Yeah, 8 is great. Like, exactly. Like, I've because of the whole multi-discipline thing, like I've definitely been under 8 average, I think, since starting. Like, it's hard to say like what I've averaged since starting, but I'm pretty sure it's less than 8. And like I still, you know, I'm still like quite happy with what it did for me. So like you don't need to go insane if your goals aren't insane. I mean, if your goals are insane though, then yeah, you better be going insane or you're gonna regret it later. But if your goals aren't insane, you don't need to go insane. Let's switch to gray. I'm actually gonna switch this to like a red pink thing. Rome wasn't built in a day. True that. True that. It also didn't fall in a day. Crying as a full-time employee. Yeah. You definitely don't have to NEET, Caro. Like, you can... you can, as long as you have a full-time job that's not asking for more than 40 hours a week, and you have enough energy when you get home from that job, you can absolutely get, like, really good at art. You can actually get really freaking good. Like, I actually calculated it. You do have to put in pretty much all your free time. But it's plenty to get really damn good within, like, 5 years, or, The bigger issue is not the time. It's the mental. Exactly, Caro. It's the actual. It's the fact that, like, you're a slave. That I find, like, really hurts people, because there's just a chronic mental exhaustion that's the biggest thing. It's not the time. It's the mental exhaustion. If you can somehow get past the mental exhaustion, then 100% there is enough time. There is absolutely enough time. Even through wage slavery. But yeah, the mental exhaustion is the killer. See, that's the thing. Like, it's hard to relate, but, like, I do think art is fun. Like, I don't necessarily think doing art for the game is always the most fun thing in the world, just because there's standards and it gets stressful and stuff. But if I can just sit there and draw whatever I want, and even doing drills and stuff, I think is actually really fun. I genuinely think art is very fun. I even thought it was fun even when I wasn't remotely good at it. And, like, if I was waging, I would definitely still want to do it in my free time. But part of it is because I'm used to it and it doesn't take that much energy. There were times in the past where it would take a lot of energy. And even nowadays, like, if I'm totally exhausted, I'm just trying to visualize exactly what this should look like. Even if I'm, there's supposed to be a spike coming down the middle. Even now, when I get truly exhausted, I can be too exhausted to. It's not like other activities. Like, if I'm truly cooked, I can still boot up like a Pokemon showdown match. Like, that doesn't require, that just does, even though that's still technically a slightly brain intensive activity, it just doesn't ask for the same amount of brain work that art is asking out of you. So there's no getting around the fact that, like, yes, it asks a decent bit of energy, but I think that I think there's ways to, I don't know, I'm trying to think. I think there's ways to, I think a lot of energy is fitness related, for one. So if you can get, like, a really healthy exercise routine and shit, and you're not, like, you're not cooming and stuff, like, that I think changes a lot. So there is that. I'm not sure what else, but been trying to think of passive income stuff. Humans aren't supposed. Exactly. Exactly. 52 hours. Damn, that's fucked, Botto. That's fucked. I think one important thing people don't want to think about is people don't want to wait until they're exactly just to be able to. Yeah, you want Kamieshi status immediately. See, the problem with the Kamieshi thing is like, yes, it's cool to be Kamieshi, but like, you can do so much cool stuff even when you're not Kami at all. Like, I mean, I guess I don't know. It's hard to say. There's always two sides to this. Like, it's really hard to say. A lot of it is just how your natural makeup is. Like, some people are just not built to be satisfied with anything other than Kamieshi. Some people are. Who else is peating? I don't know that, Carol. Give me the red pill on peating. Yeah, that's true, Doctor. Tolkien was 45 when he wrote Rings. Yeah, Fuzzy. I don't know. Like the most important thing with fitness is always just like, yeah, you're eating well, and obviously building up cardio is important. But I wouldn't recommend long distance running for cardio. I'd recommend stuff like burpees, sprints, kettlebell, stuff like that. Kamieshi is just godly. Yeah. If Kamieshi was an actual person, then I guess it would be like, it'd be the most famous Kamieshi is Yone Yamamai. she's like the poster of Kamieshi. Just because she's very social. She basically runs like a talk show with other artists. Yone Yamamai. I think the other thing is, speaking for myself, I'm afraid that the things I want to do now, the things I want to create now, fading away. And by the time, yeah, Nova, that's a big thing. That's a big one. That's a really interesting topic because, like, I talked about this before, but like, I don't run on inspiration anymore because I kind of like lost my creativity with age. Instead, I know what I like, and I derive all creativity from like literary concern, because I have like I have really strong literary concerns. So for me, it's not about creativity or inspiration. It's entirely just about like just knowing myself, and also, the whole being a writer component is big. So I really don't know what to say on that topic otherwise, because it's a weird one. There's no question that creativity tends to go down with age. For some people it doesn't, but for most people it does. I've talked to many people who have confirmed that going through their 20s was scary because their creativity decreased rapidly every year. And that was true for me as well. The difference is that, like, I don't have to be creative because I have practice in these things. You don't need creativity if you have already hammered creativity into your muscle memory. You don't need to be proactively creative. There's two types of creativity. There's hot creativity and there's cold creativity. You only need cold creativity. You don't need hot creativity. Coldies. So yeah, at any rate. Let me answer Neko's question, because it's actually really interesting. As far as like, how would I define art? This is what's really interesting. Okay, so if we're talking about visual art is defined by the creation of the articulation of design. So it's anything that makes visual design articulate, which is to say visual patterns. It's organization of visual patterns. If you're to say an art in the general form, I would say an art is anything that has a monopoly, any creative act that has a monopoly on the specific type of information it conveys. So that's why I say, like, with literature, the whole point of literature, what makes literature is that nothing else can convey, well, specifically, yeah, like thematic info, the way literature can. There's no other means to do it in existence, and that's why literature exists. Music, nothing can articulate mood. Nothing can crystallize and articulate mood the way music can. Assuming it's being done at a high level. So that, anyway, that's how I define these things. And that's why I get kind of like autistic about like what counts as an art, what's not an art. Because I have a very like kind of like hard science to how I think about it. I don't like these sticking out like that. They should not be sticking out like that. I ate a breakfast of egg, sausage, burrito, prunes, protein. Damn, that's a lot. Yeah. That's a lot of shit. That sounds almost like a bodybuilder breakfast. There's this meme among violin players called Ling Ling, which is like a super protege that could play Paganini at age 4. Holy shit. Ray Peat was a biologist that talked about how a lot of people are hypothyroid. Oh, interesting. Oh, so that's where they advocate, against the seed oils and stuff. Yeah, that makes sense. Interesting. Truly a Hakanai moment. Yes, exactly. I run on spite, and because of that, I was on a petty grind set and very competitive, but now as I mature, I became less petty. Yo, Unum. Yes, exactly. Every influence. Yeah, everything. Every little thing in music. It's mood. It's the science. Music is the science of mood. So, DeVirus, it's funny you say that because like, I was just telling people how like, I wouldn't say it's like petty, but like, I am all about like, it's something close to petty. Like I'm all about trying to match other people's energy. Like I'm not really good at providing my own like source of like energy and motivation. I usually, Saku Uta is actually about this. Read Saku Uta if you want to see this topic elaborated on. But like basically, I'm very like reflective with my energy. Like, I like when someone else is initiating like the energy and competitiveness sort of thing, and then I respond to that very strongly, and that's why it was really depressing when like Toby was kind of just like out of the game, because like wanting to like compete was such like a big part. So like that's how I'm like kind of pumped that like, oh, he's back in the game again, That's just the type I am. I'm like very, very I'm very reflective, and It was cool to see, it was really cool to see Saku to talk about that topic. In like a really, really intense way. So all right, now what we need to do is we need to make this just look a lot fucking nicer, basically. We gotta make it look more like a shield too. Like this area should be, it should have more of a, should just be wider for one. I guess like that. But I also don't like how much this shit's sticking out. Like it shouldn't be sticking out that much. Yeah, like more like that. Yeah. Question is, how many pixels should we use for running down the center? Like, should it be 2, 3? I think it should be... I think this is fine, I guess. I also don't like the shape of these legs that much. Yeah, like more like that, I guess. I don't know. I'll figure it out in a second. I make a game called Torcast based virus. It'd be hype. It'd be like it'll be like a like when AAA games get parody games. The natural tendency to suppress your energy. The energy, yeah, I feel like usually in the form of a fire explosion. Like, I think a lot of people can relate to that, yeah. Doctor, still petty. A lot of my video essays are fuel to be debunked. Yeah, I've seen that, Doctor. I have seen the video essays. True. It is good news for me, Charles. It is, for sure. Classical Chew, in terms of music, I wouldn't say so, but I try to be understanding of like all forms of music, but I am like if the jazz classical war comes on, like I'm definitely biased to the classical side over the jazz side. Like I'm not gonna lie, but I try to be really open-minded. Yeah, fuzzy. That's a type. That's a type fuzzy. That can be dangerous as well. That's why. You know, again, back to Nishin Geppo. That's why that's the way to go. Just every day become like a machine. Party rocker every day I'm shuffling. I feel like there should be a little, I don't know, there should be like a spike coming out up here or something. Just to give it like a, yeah, like a head. Well, it doesn't show up on that side though. You wouldn't see it. I think what we're gonna do is, well, I think when the shape gets organized, it'll be fine. Yeah, this should be fine. This should be fine. I'm not too worried about it. But we got to. It needs a few more adjustments. Yeah, a lot of straightaways. Yeah, Nova. Yeah, a lot of people I like 8-bit music theory, who is basically like how I learned the amount of music theory I know, is like totally biased to jazz. So like, I kind of ended up just being like the way I think about music ends up being kind of more biased to jazz anyway in the end. So yeah. Yeah, I'm not liking what I'm seeing with the with the new Mario Kart. Yeah, we'll definitely make merch Botto, no question. Besides Orchestral, of course. I don't know, Caro. I honestly don't know. I can't think of any. Like, there's like some small studio games, I guess, that still get made that are like good and stuff. I guess I haven't been keeping up that much, but like, I guess like here and there, yeah, there's like maybe some stuff worthwhile, but like I don't know, man. It's not a good time for the game industry right now. It's definitely not. Yes, exactly, Charles. Exactly, Charles. Yeah, yeah, exactly, Fuzzy. Like there's still some good JRPGs. But yeah, Bada. Oh, exactly. Yeah, the PS2 library alone will last your life. Exactly. Um, there are so many cool retro games that I haven't even played. Yeah, exactly. Like I'm just so biased to retro games as it is. It's just like I don't even know. Um, but yeah, Bado, you should definitely do that and tell me how it goes. I think I just missed a Will message. Think of Fifth Station on Psychedelic Creativity link. The last time Obe was at the Creativity was the Psychedelic Ninki Zetcho no G. What period are we talking? Is that like sci-fi, probably, Will? Like when they were at the forefront of sci-fi novels and stuff? Because that definitely sounds like it makes sense to me. Like that was, I would say like the sci-fi period was like the last hurrah of like Western creativity. And you can still see it. Like, well, there was also fantasy. But like the sci-fi stuff, a lot of like what formed otaku came from that period. So I definitely know what you're talking about if that's what you're talking about. Okay, so the trick is going to be make sure the details have a nice gesture to them like that. All right, I think I can start cleaning this up now. Well, I feel like this needs to wrap more. I don't like the way this looks. I think this looks kind of fucking stupid. I also feel like the legs got stubby somewhere in the mixed. The legs got too stubby. Yeah, that looks... All right, well, I went too far. I think that'll do it. All right. Yeah. All right. Let's clean this up now. I think the legs should have more. I think they should have like a little more kick to them. No pun intended. Like that. Nah, that looks. That's a little too much. Fuck. That's too much. Yeah, man, I guess we'll try this. We'll try this. Oh shit, yeah, whatever. Oh yeah. Oh, you're talking about music, Will. Okay. I had no idea what you're talking about. I thought you were talking about how like a lot of sci-fi novelists were big on acid and shit and stuff. I thought that's what you're talking about. I have no idea. I don't know my arrows that well, but yeah, no, for sure. That definitely makes sense to me. Yeah, Nova. Yeah. Yeah, classical does have a really big range. I'm not super familiar with it, but I know it goes. The one thing that like type of music that is technically classical, it's technically falls under classical, but I'm very against is like Mahler. Like when Mahler started influencing stuff and it turned into like basically movie music before movie music. I think that shit's junk. Ahiru, have you played the 3D platformer Pseudo Regalia yet? No, but it looked good. It looked well made. Yeah, it looked well made. It's like the Protestant Reformation of video games right now. Yeah, exactly. Hans Zimmer. I don't hate Hans Zimmer. I don't. I just don't like that philosophy of making music. Like I don't like what Mahler. I don't like the philosophy that Mahler injected into. I don't like anything Mahler composed. That much I can say. I don't like. Here. Basically, I would describe Mahler music as targeting, as like, it might sound kind of pretentious how I'm describing this, but I don't think there's a better way to describe it. I would, yo, Bobby, yeah, let's go. I would describe Mahler's philosophy as ostentatiously trying to capture very surface level emotions. That's how I would describe it, and I think that's why it became like the movie music standard, because Hollywood especially is very concerned with just throwing the very immediate surface reaction to anything at you. Very superficial, and it just feels very thin, and I do not like it at all. That being said, I think there are people who can take pieces of that philosophy and apply it really well. Like, there's a bunch of composers in the otaku sphere that like will obviously take pieces of like Mahler and movie music type shit, but they'll give it like a lot more depth, and they'll give it like, much more of an identity and stuff. And that's interesting. But in generally speaking, I do not like that. I do not like that Mahler-derived approach at all. And I don't like Mahler himself at all. I think his music's terrible. I don't even know if it's I don't know enough about music to tell you if it's even technically impressive or not. And I don't even care if it's technically impressive because I think it's so bad. Like in terms of like I think like the listenability of it and like the intent of it, I think is so bad that I don't even care if it's culturally. I don't even care if it's technically impressive. I don't get the feeling it's that technically impressive compared to a lot of other stuff anyway. So that's just the feeling I get. Okay. All right, I think this should be okay. I think the main issue is that I think this spot needs to get leaner. We need to pack that in a little more. That should do it. All right, we're going to mirror it one last time, and then we're going to just work on one side until we're happy with it. Then we'll flip it. Yeah, shallow music, basically. Yeah, I can't dissect. Even well, I shouldn't say even. I mean, obviously Toby's really good at what he does, but like Toby's music is too complex for me to like understand. Like I'm not any sort of authority when it comes to music at all. Like I'm very inexperienced with music. I have technically some musical training. Like I can my ear train level, like how much I can hear like chords or, intervals or whatever is like okay. It's okay. It's not the worst. My familiarity with music theory is basic. Like I'm not gonna get lost if I'm not gonna get lost in a music theory discussion if it's kept basic enough. Stuff like that. But in general, I'm not. Like my music needs work. Which is why I'm lucky I found a dude to help with the game's music. Sounds like the A shows. yeah. I can't stand when Toby taps into the show tunes crap. Like I can't stand that shit. Like he's at his best when he's imitating Zoom. Like there's no getting around that. Like sometimes he can imitate other video game composers too really well. But there's no getting around the fact he's at his best when he's imitating Zune. And when he brings in the show tune shit, man, it's just awful. And he's been doing that a lot on Deltarune. And, like, so many people are not happy with that. I know a lot of people who just don't like the majority of Deltarune's soundtrack for that. And, like, his, like, worship of, like, 90s American culture nostalgia is just a mind virus, and it just like needs to stop. Like that shit sucked in the 90s, and it sucks even 10 times more now in current year. So like he needs to get over that. Dude, fucking Rugrats. Fucking, oh my god, Rugrats. All that. Yo, all that. What else? What else was happening in the 90s? I don't know. Just awful, awful stuff. Remember,
Keenan and Kel.
Keenan and Kel? Dude, that shit was so fucking rad. No, it sucked then. It sucks even more now. I just really want to make fun lyrical songs like Pokemon anime to be a man. That would be really funny, Doctor, if you could do that. Bobby, we're trying to lean into I'm trying to lean into the sort of emotional horror thing. The type of tracks that show up in especially stuff like Silent Hill 1 and 2. I mean those are super high level. So I don't want to sit here being like, yeah, Orc Castle soundtrack is going to sound like Silent Hill. It's not going to sound like Silent Hill, unfortunately, because Silent Hill is too high level. But in terms of vibe, we are going for stuff like you'd hear in like horror VNs, like, you know, like there's a lot of like stuff like in like stuff like Gore Screaming Show or I always sort of know Camus, like stuff like that, like. I guess even stuff like that could show up in like you know, like I don't know. I'm trying to think what else. I guess it like, you know, like Clock Up VN, you know, stuff like Euphoria and stuff. We're going for that kind of like, oh, the music is. It can be oppressive, but it can also be emotional. That's what we're going, and it's just kind of like. You know, it can just be weird sometimes. It's like the, you know, I don't want to use this term, but we're going for the atmospheric dollar. We're going for atmosphere. But also, you know, sentimentality where it needs it. You know, because the game is supposed to be, you know, what I call emotional horror. That's what I'm trying to call it, which is a common thing you see in VNs a lot, like the emotional horror type thing. So show tune like track would be like when Mettaton puts a, well, that one was funny. No, that one was actually going on. That one was a parody of Final Fantasy VI's Opera House one. So that one was ironically one of the less show tunes like ones. But Mettaton's normal theme, his like do 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 do, not the one where you actually fight him. That one was going off of Sonic CD. Mostly, and like stuff like when like Rare would do jazz. So that one's a little different, but his default one, when you see Mettaton in cutscenes, that one is pretty show tunesy. Elnu show tunes is like, oh, just think of stuff like the SpongeBob SquarePants like opening theme, like any opening to like a cartoon, like that's show tunesy. A lot of Broadway play songs, those are show tunes. There's stuff that's very like. They're meant to be very singable, and they make you want to kind of dance in like a simple way. They'll often have a almost kind of like a forced thing to them. It's hard to explain, but yeah. Music literacy goes too silly for me sometimes. A random mix between pure math and subjectivity. Yeah, exactly. It's really true. Yeah, DeVirus. Like music leads to a lot of battles, unlike art, which, you know, art has its controversies, but for the most part, it's a little bit more cut and dry. Yeah, like Aladdin singing how he needs to run away with the bread loaf. Yeah, it all ties together, music and yep. Very true. Yeah, music is one way to think about music is that music is always a mirror of culture. That's kind of how I see it. Like music is always gonna be. Music is basically. Music is like the moon, and okay, this is how I like to think about it. Literature is the earth. Visual art is the sun, and then music is like the moon. Music is the thing that is technically the least important, but plays a very big role in modulating and reflecting off of everything else. And in video games, it's unfortunately super important, which is why it sucks I'm not better at it, but we're going to make it work. If fucking Dan Salvato could make it work, then I can make it work. My guy is good too. My guy's that. I mean, he's not like, you know. He himself would admit he's not the most experienced or anything, but he can do some good stuff. So he's we're gonna do it. Okay, wait. I'm doing this one wrong. This one needs to be like that. The air and not the moon. Yeah, perhaps, Charles, perhaps. Did I do any kind of music during school? No, I wish I did though. And yes, I wish I had taken piano lessons. I literally asked my parents like, "Hey, can I like do that?" But they were like, I don't think they had any money and they didn't do that. So they could have saved me a lot of trouble if they did. I wish I had known that like MIDI. I mean, as a kid, it's funny because you're really lazy and you don't like look into things. You don't know how to research as a kid. If I had just looked up like, oh, MIDI keyboards are not that expensive and you can just pop a MIDI keyboard, you can pop a MIDI controller into your computer and you can make music. Like I totally would have done that. I just didn't know because I was an idiot. You're really lazy as a kid. Dan got lucky. Yeah, for sure, Caro. Dan was absolutely right place, right time. Expect me to believe in Middle Eastern sing American show tunes and they have Bollywood. Dan's kind of cooked, Bobby. He kind of wanted. Yeah, you start by learning it. Yeah, exactly. Will. That's how you start. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true, Elnu. It's like. They don't at all. A lot of people get them and they just go nowhere and they just give up. That's very true. Maybe one day we'll have a piano stream and you can see. You can check out my piano skills. It's one of those things where it's a lot like art. It's just like, oh, the people who are destined to be blessed to really go at it are the ones who went at it. And unfortunately, I was just not one of them. But I am glad, though, that I put in the work I did put into music, that I did. You know, I've never given up with ear training. I always train my ear. When I get time, you know, I put in some composing reps or some playing reps, stuff like that. You know, it'd be so much worse if I was 0. The situation would be so much worse if I was 0 with music. But fortunately, I mean, like, I don't know, like, what you'd rank me, but, like, I'm very far from, you know, like, a beginner with music. Like, I'm absolutely not any sort of beginner with it at all. Like, I don't know what you'd call me, but it's definitely a lot better off than just not knowing what the fuck I'm doing. I guess this looks fine. Yeah, that looks good. Oh, come on. All right. So the question with this too is one of the things with the shield too is we got to figure out exactly like where it goes in relation to the sprite, because like it's not like we can just like we're gonna have to do something to like. I think what we'll do is we'll have her when she summons it, she'll like step aside a little bit basically, and then the shield will be like kind of like that, and then when you attack the shield, and she'll fade out a little bit. I think that's how we'll do it. She'll be like, it needs, it definitely is going to need some kind of like black outline to parse itself. But yeah, we'll figure it out. Oh, yep. Good luck with work, Bato. Thanks for stopping by. No, it's not like there's Dan Salvato drama, Bobby. It's more like he's been, if you follow him at all, and I used to, you know what I mean in 2 seconds. He chronically, year after year, did everything he could to make himself more relevant, or less relevant, rather. Like, he's so freaking weird. Like, you know exactly what I mean if you follow him for 2 seconds. And he said he, like, hated the attention and, like, basically wanted to dig himself out of relevance. And he did. And he successfully did so. So, yeah, it's just, like you, again, like, if you watched even one stream of him, you know what I mean. Like, he does everything he can to, like, go on people's bad side and to just be off-putting and to, like, not work on his projects. He's got like 3 projects open. He barely works on any of them. And he said he's like depressed and doesn't even feel like work. He's just like friggin' bizarre. He says anti-otaku shit constantly too. Like really Reddit-y anti-otaku stuff, which is like just obviously not good for your brand when like technically you know, you're going off of like otaku media for your popularity and stuff. Yeah, he's just a mess. It's so there's not like one point of drama. It's just like his whole existence is just him like digging his own grave proactively. He also just does like weird shit. Like every time there was some kind of like drama, like a Me Too or something, he would like butt in and like white knight about it and stuff in the most like tacky way possible. And it's just like all around like extremely unlikable person. And yeah, he just kind of like he kind of just dug the grave of his own brand, basically. To put it simply. Favorite piano player? I honestly don't know. Like, I don't like follow piano players' names. I just look up like songs on YouTube sometimes, and I find someone who's like good at it. There's this one guy who made a set. He's this Asian dude, and his face looks like a thwomp from Mario. He did like a mad sick arrangement of the "You Know Me" song that You Know Me composed for Maureen. You know, like Sencho. That was a fire arrangement. Maybe that guy's my favorite. Concave. Most of my music making experience comes from LBP2's music. Oh, interesting. I actually don't know much about that. Maybe tell me about that. Yeah, Elno, you were telling me how you're big on improv and stuff. Exactly. Yeah, I've heard that you can't easily get a teacher to explain that side of it. Exactly. I've actually been really impressed with your music skill, Elno, by the way. The music guy who helps me too, he listened to your stuff and he said it was super good. Starts with Mario Paint, exactly, yeah. Oh, that's fucked up. Your mom has a broken shoulder. Nova. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, arranging. I hear transcription is one of the best things, and remixing is one of the best things. Kissin is the best pianist alive. Interesting. I'll have to look up he or she. Yeah, exactly, Nova. Yeah. Yep, exactly, Bobby. Yeah, it's quite a rabbit hole. Like I don't follow him anymore because I got sick of seeing the same thing year after year, and he went more and more into hiding year after year. Like he made it harder to even follow him. Like he just kept decreasing the amount he was active each year. But yeah, he is like at one point I was even considering making like a compilation and calling it like Dan being like anti-otaku and humiliating himself like compilation. But it just got to the point where it was like everything. Like everything he's done, he does is that. So it's just like, what is there even to? What kind of compilation is there to even make at that point? Like nothing. You know, it's just like, dude, just self cooked. And yeah, I don't get the feeling he's gonna release a new project anytime remotely soon. I mean, if ever at this rate. That being said, he's built up such a debt of saying anti-Oda shit and stuff. At some point, I do want to hold him accountable for some of what he's done at some point, and I do have plans to, force him to be held accountable. But he is increasingly irrelevant at any rate. So. It's almost like kicking a dead horse at that point. Okay, It's not that this shield is that hard to make, but it's so fucking time consuming because you have to make sure you have to make make sure the textures read. You gotta make sure that the shapes have their ideal balance. Stuff like this is just like really annoying, time consuming work. This type of thing would be perfect for like an art assistant. That's why I wish I had an art assistant. The stuff that's like not hard but just annoying and time consuming. Yeah, the second. Has Toho been a net negative or positive at this point? You mean like for the West? Yeah, what do you like Toho? Yeah, Dan Silva was like a picture perfect, like self-loathing, like Western weeb, basically. Yeah, Sin is my music guy. I'll know. Yep. For the West, I'd still say it's obviously for Japan it was a net positive, but for the West, I mean, I guess it was a net positive. Yeah, all in all. Yeah, I mean, it's just like so hard to say because like everything is kind of like everything in the West ends up being kind of like both like a negative and a positive. It's like so hard to even say. I would say it's a net positive ultimately, but yeah, I mean, it's tough with something like Toho where it's like the whole point of the you know, I don't even know if you can call it a franchise because it's Dojin, but like, is it even a franchise? I guess it is. But yeah, like the whole point of the franchise is what you personally kind of like put into it and make out of it and stuff. And like, you throw such a thing into the West, you're not going to easily get a great result out of that. I'm not super familiar with Toho in the West. I have seen some things that are kind of terrifying. But I do know that they're prone to kind of like, yeah, just forming their own weird culture around it and kind of not being at all on page with Japan, which again is very easy to do because of the nature of it. All in all, I still like to imagine it's a net positive though. I see a lot of people who like it, who are, you know, cool people, and you know, and it's had a positive impact on them in the West. I do see that quite a bit, so I think all in all it's a positive thing. But I'm actually gonna go ahead and mirror it just to keep stuff in line. Let's see. Dan Trunkske. Speaking of Dan, I fear that the kind of art people draw of Reimu and the other characters. I fear the kind. Oh, in the West. Yeah, I'm not super familiar with it, but that makes. The only few Chinese fan games I've played had a Japanese text. Interesting. Yeah, I know a lot of Chinese weebs tend to be higher power level than the Western ones. I know like what I'm doing for example, like trying to make a game in Japanese in the first, like that wouldn't be as unusual in China. What I'm doing is pretty much unthinkable for Western standards, but for Chinese it wouldn't be as much because they've had a chance for their like otaku culture interest to develop a little more than ours has so far. I mean, it helps that the place is just fucking huge. Obviously, there's just more. There's just a higher probability of shit happening when you have that many people, but. Yeah, I don't want to have to learn Chinese. Yeah, I'd really like in a perfect world, I would like matrix download Chinese and Korean into my head so that I could communicate with those two like increasingly relevant markets, but like sadly it's just never going to happen. Like the only reason I was able to learn Japanese is just because I'm so interested in it to the point where it was effortless. So I just don't really care about China or Korea that much in that regard. Yeah, people Raymond Smash, yeah. Yeah, the Geno meme, yeah. A lot of the best Western artists do pornography. Barag. I've never heard of Barag. What is Barag? Barag. I hear Korean is really similar to Japanese in many ways, so it's the closest thing to Japanese. Maybe Korean's in the cards one day. I don't know. Kamsamnida. You can make serious bank if you're skilled at art and do pornographic art in the West. Yeah, exactly, Unim. Oh, I see. Yeah, you can make serious bank doing doing erotic stuff as a Western artist. Like some of them make some of them are definitely pulling in like six figures and beyond, no question. Sometimes I wish I had like a fucking clone who could just go nuts on like an erotic art grind set and build up a platform on that, but obviously the game is way more important.
I'm actually doing a sequence right now, the animation series.
Oh, okay, all right. Well, I just got word that my brother is doing that as we speak, so I think the Orc Castle financial situation should be looking up. I actually, speaking of which, I actually did. We got through it. We managed to get through last month, even though, like I said, it had some surprise financial. It had some ugly surprise financial jump scares, but we did get through it last month. Thank you, everyone who helped. Will, Caro, everyone on the Patreon. Sorry if you pitched in and I didn't say your name, but Yeah, we got through it. At its worst, I did have a night where I woke up. I had a night where I was having financial nightmares, and I woke up and I just puked terribly. And then I went back to sleep, and apparently my brother didn't fall back asleep after that. But yeah, we got through it. We got through it. So, and this month's gonna be things are gonna go hard this month. Like Bat Sim's gonna drop, Bat Sim update. We should have a demo. We should have like the story demo by the end of the month. This month's gonna go hard.
Gesture book should be out.
Oh yeah, we'll have the gesture book out. I got the Oda regimen book out, which is really cool. So this should be a killer month. I think what we gotta do is we gotta bring this down like that. I don't know if you can hear it that clearly, but this track that's playing right now, this is one of the most loved tracks on the Undertale soundtrack, and it's literally just him imitating Zune, like, to a T, so goes to show why he needs to stick to that more. MMX corrupted. I actually don't know what that is. Give me a QRD on it. Oh, Fumo, we are drawing the shield spell, but from the enemy side. Basically, because I need a sprite for the enemy using it. The enemy side using it. MLP visual novel. Kickstarter, yeah. I used to live with someone who got commissions. Oh, no shit. That's crazy. Yeah, Will is scheming. He is scheming. I'm on the train right now. 50-year-old man just broke out. Damn, it's it's fine. We're doing good. It's so surreal to see like nerd type hobby shit like reach an aging demographic at this point, because like millennials have aged, Xers have aged. It's so fucking surreal to just see like to see these things like to just see like the aging demographic of things. It's kind of cursed, but that's why I want to stay. I gotta like really mind my health, because I want to stay looking young for a long time, and I mean I don't look like super young right now because of stress. I know that I got the stress eyes obviously from just recent years of work and stuff have really like given me the stress eyes compared to the past. But I think like with a good regimen and stuff, I can stay looking relatively youthful. I literally don't drink at all, and like I'm not even kidding when I say at all. I mean literally at all. I do not drink at all, and I never have. I have never had a period where I drink ever. Like some holidays, not even like all holidays, is the limit, and that's it. So like that's like one of the big things that really ages you, and I have none of that, so it's like that's a big thing, because like I just think it's like fucking like I don't want to sound like a toxic like 13-year-old girl, but like I do think it's kind of low key creepy when like you got like a dude playing video games like on stream, and he looks and he's looking like an unk. It's just weird. It's just fucking weird. and I don't want. I want to delay that. I want to delay myself from being that as long as I possibly can. Basically, I'd rather not be that for as long as I cannot be that. At least until it normal. At least until it socially normalizes a little more. I guess. Teetler. Yes, I do not go outside, so I'm safe from sun. Exactly. Will. I like Magic. It's fun and easy to play. Oh, Mega Man X Corrupt. Okay, so that's what that is. I'm gonna have to look into that. I know that there's a huge amount of Mega Man fan projects. Yeah. There's probably some old heads who are like insane at some old games. Do you and Woda have work schedules for the Orc Castle Sagyo? We do for periods, but then we will sometimes interrupt it to because something else will come up. Like I said, like last month I doubled. I think it was like more than doubled my normal income because of the fact that like I had to go nuts on YouTube and shit. Like ended up bringing in like a lot more money than usual. But I ironically had to sacrifice like fucking work time on the actual game for it, which is just awful. But this month we're very scheduled with this month. Like this month we have a clear roadmap for releases related to the game, like stuff you'll actually be able to play throughout the month, and I think we're going to be able to meet them all. So short answer, yes. Short answer is yes, we do. Because I want to hit a point where I can justify an actual legitimate, like Kick Bucky's fundraiser thing for Castle. Because if I could just get myself like a really nice chunk of change to work on the game, then I'm set. I can just focus on the game. I can use that to pay music help. I can use that to help promotion more even. Obviously to stay alive. So that's the current goal. And I think we can do it. I have a lot of like really cool I actually have like a lot of really good like fundraiser, like Kickstarter reward things. I've been playing around with like a lot of different funny ideas, and I think we could make like a really sick fucking campaign out of it. And the thing about Kickstarter campaigns is that they are actually like sometimes worth it for not even the money, but just proof. Yeah, staying alive is good, exactly. They are sometimes. Oh, hold on. The music ended. They are sometimes worth. I gotta change my topic also. They are sometimes worth it just to show that they're just as like a voucher. Like they're a form of advertisement unto themselves. They're a form of advertisement unto themselves, and I guess we'll keep with the Toby theme going. Let's get some. Let's turn on the Deltarune soundtracks, even though these are much less liked. Some of these are bangers. Like this track goes hard. This track I unironically love. The intro one. The Gaster theme. This is a legitimately great track. But yeah, it's just like, oh, hey, look. this project has interest in it. You know, this project has a. I hear about a lot of projects from their Kickstarter, so clearly it's a decent way to let people know the thing even exists. Oh yeah. Take it easy, Fumo. Thanks for popping in. I might be off because I have to work. I have to balance this month between streaming and working on actual YouTube videos. But I might be on. It's hard to say. A while ago, I bookmarked Ma. tell me what you think, Will. I've never heard his piano solos, so maybe his piano solos are good. Oh, it's in a piano arrangement. Okay. Unim knows a lot more about this than me, so Unim would know what the. Caro, Orcastle is just getting started. Orcastle is the warning shot, but it's still gonna be fire. It's my goal is to make a warning shot that's good enough to be. All right, I don't want to talk it up too much, but the goal is to make a warning shot that's worthy of being a magnum opus. That's how I'm thinking about it. But yeah, I got big plans. I have plans that I don't remember what he says, but anyway, yeah, no, I have very big plans for after this. Like tangible plan, not like pipe dreams, like actual tangible projects that are like actually have tangible, stuff put down on them. So yeah, Castle is just the beginning. Like I'm not gonna be at all like other devs that like burn out or don't know what's next. It's not gonna be like that at all, even slightly. I do want to put a team together after this. I'm putting together a team. I do want to put together a team after this project. Hopefully this project brings enough money where I can. If I can't, if I don't get enough money to put together a team, it's still okay because I have enough that I can do. I have different courses of action depending on the available budget. So whatever happens, no matter what happens, some really cool shit is going to come next, basically, is what I'm trying to say. No matter what happens. Did I smart goal? Honestly, I don't. It's a boogie warning shot. Yeah, exactly, Bobby. Yep. Mahler being sentimental. That's gonna be a first to hear. I'm interested to hear what that's like. Yeah, comic hits like 30% unks. Yeah, we just have to accept it. Yeah, it will be normalized by the time I age. Yeah, VTuber models help too, for sure. Exactly. I will exactly. Charles, I felt disgusted. Charles with the toxicity. Yeah, exactly, Unim. And once you get through that, you're hooked for life. Exactly. Yeah, Kickstarter promotion is gonna be good for sure. I found out you can preview Kickstarters before you even launch them. So my goal for this month is to get a demo out. Well, there's gonna be multiple demos, but like the big public free demo with the story demo. I'll call it the story demo. and then preview a Kickstarter page. So the Kickstarter page will be like previewed and you can click like follow on it. That's my goal for this month. The charge hacks from Monster Hunter, yeah. Insect beetle vibes, yeah. Take it easy, Concave, yeah. Thanks for popping by. Yeah, I'm gonna send it to some streamers and stuff for sure. I'm gonna see. I have idea. You know who I think would be interested in Orc Castle a lot? I think yes, the website is a good idea for sure. I'm gonna add more updates to that in the future. Yeah. Credit to Will for that. But I'm gonna send it to Marsh. You know who does the SMT videos? Definitely gonna send it to him. I think he might be interested. Yeah, I will have to switch to A-Sprite at some point. I promise I will switch to A-Sprite at some point. I apologize for not being on it yet. I'm just, I'm just too used to the workflow I got going right now. Yeah, very, very, very true, Will. Yes. Elnu is an A-Sprite believer as well. So I promise I will switch. We did not talk about Deltarune yet, Unim. I actually have my next video is actually going to be dedicated to Toby stuff, like yeah, Vine sauce. Talk about slaughtering children. I actually, I have a video about Toby cooking. The video is going to be, it's going to be a pretty unconventional video. Like, it's going to be, I guess the best way to describe it is it's going to be partially dedicated to talking about why Toby is relevant to otaku. It's going to be partially talking about actually literally lore theory shit. Not just randomly, though. It's going to be talking about Deltarune Undertale lore theory shit in a way that is specifically important to Otis shit and like specific stuff that only I even noticed. And then it's going to be talking a little bit about Toby as like a public figure. And it's only going to be lightly critical. It's not going to be as critical as I originally planned because at the current moment, it has come to my attention how the modern gamer sphere is a little bit cooked. And appreciation of narrative-heavy games is kind of low-key in danger at the moment. And everything else aside, despite everything, it's still you. Despite everything, Toby is still making a narrative-heavy game that is inspired from classic game UX. So at the moment, I kind of have a lot of reason to stay a little bit more on the good side of that whole thing because we kind of have a common enemy right now, which is the part of the gamer market that's devolving and doesn't care about narrative and doesn't stuff like that and doesn't care about like classic game UX and stuff. So for the time being, I'm going to be only lightly critical. But I have a lot of interesting things to say that are very unique. and otaku relevant. So anyway, look forward to that. That's the next big video. Yeah, exactly, Will. The that's so true. Like it's just such an ugly situation. Oh yeah, yeah. I didn't realize ER streams and stuff. I forgot about ER. I haven't heard that name in forever. Interesting, Alno. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna switch to it. I promise I will switch to it. Um, I forgot. I haven't heard that name in forever, but he'll definitely be on my list as someone to contact about. The thought of a multi-hour Tim Rogers or Castle video. Oh shit, that would be perfect. That's true, Charles. That's true. That's freaking true. Yes, Carol, I did finally set up a Git. I did finally. I haven't been using it as much as I should be, but I'll seriously, like, it's not like the project isn't fully Gitified yet, but I will get back on. It's just because last month was so hectic, but this month we're gonna be doing a lot of we're gonna be doing proper version control this month for sure. It's a long time coming, but we will be doing proper version control finally. Yeah, the video essays are gonna go hard. They're gonna go hard. The Tokyopia forum back in the day, non-Japanese people involved with gaming. No, I haven't even heard of that. He said Avatar counts as anime because he all gets animation by Korean. So fucking stupid. So stupid. I made a tweet about that not long ago. How there's a very big difference between Koreans helping with anime and a actual top-down Korean production. Not even remotely the same thing. There's so many like retarded, ridiculous ideas that still float around, like just about anime. It's insane how much people just like don't get how the whole thing works. But yeah, I actually speaking of Toby and shit, one thing I like learned from looking at Undertale and shit and Toby stuff was like the power of like theory crafting and shit and like meta and like parasocialness and stuff in a game. And like I actually planned Castle with like, because like those aren't things I'm like normally that interested in, but like looking at all like the Toby crap like got me more interested in those elements. So I actually like intentionally have put in like a lot more like, you know, there's going to be like a lot more like theory bait type crap, not in like a cringe way. Like it's not, I promise I didn't sacrifice anything actually substantial for this. In fact, well, you'll see. You will see. But yeah, I'm looking forward to what kind of tube vids people will be able to make off of my crap. I think we're getting close to done with this. Just needs a bit more. Needs a bit more polish, especially down here. Mal got purchased by a Japanese Web3 crypto company. I did not know that. I wonder if that bodes well or not well for it. FNAF has somehow been carried by Dom. Yeah. What is it? The bite of what is it? The bite of 87 or whatever. Or Castle's gonna need a bite of it's gonna need a bite of 97. Yeah, not in a FNAF way. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. You can't avoid the speculation component. Like, there's two things I started planning the project thinking like I didn't want to do. One of them was having like any meta component whatsoever to it, just because like I think that the meta shit is so cringe. Oh my god, it's a fucking video game about video games, holy shit. And it's all just because of parasocial shit. And I didn't want to do that. The other thing I didn't want, I didn't want any lore speculation shit because I wanted to make something where people just focus on the idea of like, oh, it's a conventionally well-written story and that's that. Somewhere along the line, though, I changed my mind and decided that you can do both. Like, you can have... I can express my qualms with these things while still making something that, like, has those elements. In fact, I can express my qualms with those things better by having those elements. So anyway, that's where we are now. That's where we are now. But at the forefront, it's still just like, I don't do anything without just, you know, everything is about just making a normal good story, though. That's obviously first and foremost. Everything is narrative. That's the tagline. Everything is narrative. I'm trying to think what I don't like. Steven Universe was really popular with lore crowds. I didn't realize that. I don't know anything about it other than it's cursed as fuck. And yeah, the stuff with... Yeah, that happens. That happens. Yeah, just use your imagination is bad. Is really bad. It's always... You know, like theorizing whatever. You know that stuff's really cooked when it just evolves into... well, this could happen, or this could, you know, it's just like the whole point is that it has to do something. It has to actually serve a, you know, narrative thematic purpose. Yeah, I hear that. I see that a lot with Adventure Time as well. I have no exposure to it also. So yeah. But yeah, I'm actually like happy because like the other thing is too is like I have been genuinely like I'm not gonna lie, like I've been genuinely sucked into the whole freaking like Deltarune theorizing crap as well. Like I don't post about it online. Well, I mean, I guess I technically will with the next video. But, like, I'm not going to lie. It's, like, it's fun. The main reason it's fun, though, is because, for me, it's fun because it's a way of finding out what Toby's thinking. So, for me, it's fun specifically because of that competitive element. Like, if the competitive element wasn't there, I probably wouldn't give a shit, if I'm to be perfectly honest. But it's like, it's that aside, like it's genuinely really fun to think about, like, oh, what is he cooking? Like, what's the ideas here? Because it's like, you know, it feels like trying to track down a criminal or something. Like, it's just kind of fundamentally interesting. For all those reasons, the crazy thing, and I mean the video I have planned might not surprise some people, but some people will probably be very surprised. Just how deep the like Toby Fox versus Otaku like rabbit hole goes. Like, it's quite crazy. Like, it's some people will find it probably definitely a little bit shocking. So to theorize like about like what he's planning or intending or whatever in the game often comes with like the promise of like, you know, well, okay, well, we know what this track is kind of noisy and annoying. I'm gonna turn it down a little bit. It comes with the promise of like, oh, well, you know, I'm going to learn what his next move, you know, I guess like against Otaku is, you know, like. So from that perspective, it's really interesting. It's always like exciting to actually got to turn up my computer slightly. Anyway, yeah. And I'm every time like I notice something new, it always unlocks like. I always feel just like more equipped to deal with, I guess, just the market in general, however you want to put it. All right, we're getting there. We're getting there. Deltarune is actually good. My honest opinion is that Deltarune is not good. I'm not gonna lie, but yes, I am very curious about I'm very curious about what he's cooking. I do not think the game is good though. I gotta be perfectly honest. Like, I think it's good for indie standards for sure, but like I don't think it's good for like. Yeah, I'm gonna stream it. I'm gonna stream from the first chapter. We're gonna play it all through. I think what I'll do is I'll play the first two in Japanese. Still not gonna touch Undertale base, Kara. Base. Yeah, Bobby. Yeah, the DDLC did have a theory crafting thing. I forgot about that. Yes, and then, of course KH was huge with the KH theory crafting was actually genuinely interesting because, you know, I guess until 3, I didn't play 3, but apparently 3 was like a big Disney mandated train wreck. But I mean, I saw the Yozora stuff, which was sick. But Yozora stuff aside, obviously, like, you know, KH had like a real writer behind it and stuff. It had Nojima behind it. You know, and KH theory crafting was sick just because, I mean, it's like anything. It's like Muv-Love vanilla ends and you want to, and you theory craft about what's going to happen in alternative, you know what I mean? Like that's always interesting. Like thinking about a good story is always interesting if it's coming out in parts. But yeah, I wouldn't say Deltarune is good enough to warrant the speculation being interesting unto itself. But when you put all the meta together, it becomes quite interesting. But yeah, I'm gonna play it all on stream. I'm gonna play. The Japanese translation is terrible, but we can play it to laugh at it. We can play chapter 1 and 2 in Japanese to laugh at it on stream, and then we can play 3 and 4 in English. It should be fun. No, Toby sucks at Nihongo. Karo. He's just not good at it. He progress reports about it here and there. He's just not good. He's just not good at it. He hired a woman who is not good at English to do it, basically. Oh shit, I forgot about Fuzzy, I'm so sorry. I literally forgot about your analysis. You should do that though. That sounds hype. That's all right. I mean, you can always remake it. A lot of people do that. Like they'll just, if they have good content, but like they're not used to making videos, they could just remake them later, so it's not a big deal. No, Caro, get this. What he does is he has an interpreter. He has an interpreter that freaking just tails him everywhere. He does everything through an interpreter. No, I'm sorry, Will. No one... for some reason, no one cared about the topic anymore in Digicord. They just kind of ignored me. They've kind of fallen into just like, we don't like, no one there really like discusses much anymore. Like, I feel like everyone there is kind of like tired and would rather just talk about like what they're looking forward to, I guess, more than actual deep discussion anymore. There's not really any deep discussion that goes on anymore, so I figured that might happen. Or maybe they're just tired of discussing with me, I don't know. I have noticed that the more like serious I get with discussion, like the more I get like, you know, literarily serious about what I'm talking about, and I really try to like break down things with terms and stuff. Like, people respect that, but it does ward people off a little bit. Most people, when they discuss, are kind of just looking to get their opinion out there, and their general like thoughts about what they feel something is deserved in the value economy. Most people aren't really up for like a hardcore, you know, like gritty detail technical debate. Even if they think it's cool to see that type of discussion. So I have found with time, I tend to talk more at people than with people in my own experiences. The more technical I get and stuff, and the better I get at articulating myself, the more things tend to turn into me talking at people. So, which I mean, I guess I'm fine with. But I do wish there were more people making. I do wish there was more people trying to get really serious about literary crap and stuff, but wait, what? What the fuck happened here? How long have we been streaming? Oh, that's not bad. I'm actually kind of going through this a little faster than I expected. These should be a little bit longer. Just trying to think exactly how we're going to present this. It's probably going to have to be something like this. And I think we'll do like a black. We'll do like a. Give it a little bit of a black outline thing. That might be kind of awkward though. Fuck. Maybe if it's just one thin piece of outline, it will look fine. Yeah, I mean, I think this will do it. Yeah, that should do it. Ah, shit. No, I haven't played Baldur yet. I heard the gameplay's really sick though. I heard the story is pretty strong too. I don't know how strong, but at least relatively strong. Not sure if B Team was the Kingsfield game, but if DS2 gets hated on by midwits. Yeah, I know, Caro. You're like the one person who gets where I'm coming from with that. Every time I say that to other people, I just get this zoomer fluoride stare. But I feel the same way. Like, Eternal Ring is like one of my absolute favorite games ever, and I think it just mogs the shit out of all the Souls crap. Like I like all their first person ones better. Like I liked Demon Souls a lot when that came out. I thought it was really cool and innovative and stuff. But by the time Dark Souls came out, I was getting a little bit tired. But I mean, those games are still really, really cool. But now they've just gone too far. They've just done too much. Yeah, I it I guess it looks like interesting inherently for what's in the market, like compared to what's happening in the market right now. I guess it's like inherently interesting. I'm not personally excited for it, but I don't know. Oh yeah, yeah. See you, Elna. Take it easy. Yeah, yeah. I hear you, Caro. Yeah, yeah. Very true, Charles. The Anti-Tuber retirement. Last thing he's out of videos. Yeah, I will. I liked Demon Souls the best because I really liked like, well, it's not like linear, but I liked the four stages. I thought that complemented the system a lot better than what the main reason. Like if Dark Souls had Demon Souls level design system, I would have liked it a lot more. I didn't think this. I don't know if this is controversial, but I don't think that the interconnected like Metroidvania thing added anything to it. In my opinion, it just amounts to, I don't know how long this fork in the road is going to go for. I don't know if I'm underleveled for this. And inevitably, I overlook a stage, and once I find it, I'm overleveled for it. In my opinion, that's all it amounted to. It didn't amount to a sense of adventure. It didn't amount to a sense of exploration. I just thought it should have just had normal stages. If it had that, I would have thought it was phenomenal, but I did not. I did not like the interconnected thing. I just thought it was annoying. It just created FOMO, and it was annoying. And I didn't like the fact that there was also too many like melee bosses. I don't like the melee bosses because I just don't think the system is built to accommodate them in an attractive way. They feel like memey. Like they feel like internet content bait, to put it simply. Like it's like, oh look at how funny it is that the boss stabs you a million times. Oh look, it's the game where you die a lot. It's just like, oh come on. But regardless, I still think that's a really, really good game. But yeah, I'm just genuinely not interested in. I'm genuinely not interested in what they're doing now much. Like, mildly. Like, I'll always be mildly interested in what they're doing, but not much. I gotta do. I'm gonna have to do a mirror that erases away at everything it doesn't need. So we're gonna have to do this. Oh yeah, Shadow Tower looks sick. I didn't play that one yet. Yeah, I didn't play those, Caro, but yeah, that's the vibe I got. Oh, it does. I didn't play Souls 3, Caro. But I didn't love what I was seeing, if I'm to be perfectly honest. Yeah. That's kind of what I mean, like, Carol. Like, obviously the bosses were cool. Like, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Like, they were cool. They were cool. And I get that, like, only Elden Ring is where it got, like, ruined. Like, I'm not trying to say those are, like, not good. I'm just trying... I'm just trying to say, like, why I personally am not, like, crazy about it. Like, I liked what Demon Souls was going for more, where, like, the bosses, like, for the most part, were, like, not melee based. I just don't think that the game, like, I don't feel like that system was built to flaunt the melee thing that much in the first place. And yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just like the point is that the games were good. That's I'm not gonna say they were not good. They were good games. Just annoyed they didn't call it Dusk Blood. The Dusk Bloods feel so. Hello, W. Yeah, I will. Exactly. It's that taken to an extreme. Exactly. Right. Safe EXP. Right. That's how yeah. That makes a lot of sense. Yep. But yeah, I've been out of the series since Dark Souls 1. And I thought Dark Souls 1 was really good. I just have my few complaints about it. But like nothing in the series like made me want to come back particularly strongly, so the problem is that there's just a huge time sink for like not a lot of reward. Like, do I really want to spend 60 hours of my life like running around a adventure fantasy with like no story and a lot of repetition and a lot of inevitable repetition? Like, obviously not. No, I don't want to do that. Yu-Gi-Oh! Forbidden Memory. I love Forbidden Memory. So, it's like Fuin Sara Shikioku. I've put more hours into that game than I probably should have. Dark Souls but with a talking story. That could be sick. Exactly, Charles. Exactly, yeah. But yeah, I guess like by default, they're still like whatever they're doing is still gonna just inherently be some of the most interesting stuff in the market. So like, I don't know. Maybe Dust Blood will be interesting. I don't know. I will, whatever it is, I'm probably not going to play it myself, but like, I mean, like sometimes like cool like design work and stuff comes out of these games. So like Elden Ring had some visually cool stuff that was cool to see and stuff. But like, yeah, I'm not, the chance of me actually playing any of these is effectively zero. Especially given the fact that there's like classic FromSoft games I'd rather play, so that I've never played before. So it's like extra zero. I have like an extra zero chance of playing it because of that. Because I'd much sooner play, Eternal Ring again or Shadow Tower or something, So there is a negative chance of me touching any modern FromSoft game. Probably ever. Unless one comes out that's just like literally the best thing ever. Then I'll check it out. Yeah. Oh, so they're using two interesting, weird. Yeah. They got bought by Tencent. Wow, that's fucked. Do I think Yu-Gi-Oh was more interesting before the card game? No. If anything, okay, I think some of the concepts were better. Like, I think the fact that, like, I think Yami Yugi, like, Mohi Tori no Yugi, I think he was able to articulate his concept a little bit better before the card game. But I think they gave Kazuki Takahashi a team of writers and designers once the card game developed, and it was clear that this was this big phenomenon. And the writing in Yu-Gi-Oh! During the card stuff it's nothing like impressive, but for Jump standards, it's much better than the normal Jump slop. Because, like, obviously Jump has some standout shit, like Tagashi stuff is super standout and stuff, and, like, even way back in the day, Kinnikuin was great and stuff. Like, Televeru was good. Like, Jump can produce good stuff occasionally, but most of Jump is, like, absolute garbage. But, like, Yu-Gi-Oh! Kept this, like, okay standard. Like, it's very childish and it's very simple, but it's still, like, proper. Like, it's not garbage. Like, Yu-Gi-Oh's writing was not garbage. And I think that's because they gave him a team. I think that's because they gave him a professional team of writers to make sure that the franchise stays afloat. So in that regard, I think Yu-Gi-Oh! I think Yu-Gi-Oh! Benefited from the card game-ification. I do like pre-Duel Monsters Yu-Gi-Oh! A lot, though. I like it a lot. Yeah, I love that, Will. I love pre-Duel Monsters Yu-Gi-Oh! I think it's super fun and cool. So yeah. Whoa. No, I think we're fine. I think we're fine. I think we're fine. I don't know. I don't even know the story with the writer. I don't even know if he's a real person or not, or just an alias of someone else. Okay, the answer is no. Yes, Yu-Gi-Oh! Mangaka did die. Yep. Takahashi is unfortunately dead. But yeah, at any rate, yeah, I really like pre-Duel Monsters Yu-Gi-Oh! But I also like Duel Monsters Yu-Gi-Oh! I just like both. Yeah, something fucked up. Something really weird, you know? Yeah, Kara. I don't know, yeah. I don't know the logistics behind its production, but... Yeah, Bobby, yeah, Forbidden Memories, classic. Oh, Souls had a huge influence on Armored Core. Yeah, I would imagine. I just love the fucking... Oh, yeah, that's right, yeah. No, Forbidden... Okay, so the Yu-Gi-Oh! Card game, the original card game, a lot of people don't realize this, but the original Yu-Gi-Oh! Card game did have a rule set that was extremely similar to Forbidden Memories rule set. Like, when the original packs came out, they used a rule set that was very similar to Forbidden Memories. You get one magic card a turn, and there was no tributes. They introduced a rule set called the Advanced Rule Set, and that's when the Battle City arc started. And then they put it in the manga. They put in the Advanced Rule Set, and then the game adopted the Advanced Rule Set. But in the West, it was never the Advanced Rule Set. The West just got the Advanced Rule Set from the start. And the game was considered absolute Kuso when it was first released in Japan because, for obvious reasons, like Forbidden Memories system is retarded. But yeah, Forbidden Memories system is actually very close to what the original card game's rules were until they introduced advanced rules. So that's actually a lesser known piece of tidbit thing. But yeah, anyway, interesting stuff. Reverend put out a funny video about the he calls it like the original Yu-Gi-Oh meta or whatever. It's really funny. He breaks down how simple and stupid the game is. Yeah, I actually looked it up because of the Reverend video. Because Reverend said like Reverend didn't know, and because obviously he doesn't know Japanese, I actually looked up the original Yu-Gi-Oh rulebook manual just to find out these answers, and I looked up all the release dates of everything, and yeah, it actually checks out. So it's actually pretty funny. The fucked up thing is I like the Forbidden. All right, I'm gonna try. I'm gonna get distracted if I like spurg out about this too much, like get too excited about this, but like. I actually like the non-advanced rules a lot. I'm not gonna lie. I think. Okay, what? Yo, Elnu. Welcome back. We're spurring about Yu-Gi-Oh right now. Okay. I like what the original rules didn't have was the draw until you have 5 thing, because like obviously that system's kind of messed up because it makes it so that you're rewarded for shitting out cards. And it also makes it... There was no, like, fusion without polymerization, also. But I actually really like the non-advanced rule set because I think it just feels good to be able to throw down a super powerful monster. And I like the fact that it inherently keeps a closer relationship with the war element, like the simple card game War, where you just compare which card has more power. I feel like it emphasized that a little more. The other thing that's really interesting about it too is that it enforces speed control. It enforces speed control to an extent, and obviously speed is the big fucked up thing. It's the reason the game got too fast. The advanced rules end up letting the game get too fast, ironically. Ironically, the advanced rules were designed to slow the game down originally because it was considered too fast to be able to just drop a Blue Eyes. But then they ended up speeding it up too much because you can use as many magic cards as you want. I actually feel like the game could have done something really interesting if it pursued the non-advanced rules. Pleasure. Anyway, I don't know. I have ideas about that. I actually want to make a card game at some point, so I have a whole thing. I have a whole vision for that. We'll get to that. We'll get to that later. That's Howard Blast spoilers, so we'll get to that another time. But I want to make a card game at some point, so I've thought about this a decent bit. Japan to take up to 800,000 foreign workers through FY 2028, trying to stop the 2030 problem. That's crazy. Hopefully that doesn't mean much, because like I hear that when they take in the foreign workers, they end up getting sent back a lot. So hopefully it doesn't amount to too much. But yeah. Hopefully, I don't know, just fingers crossed, fingers crossed. Didn't get play it that much, but I like Wixos way more than Yu-Gi-Oh. Yeah, I meant to play. I played because there's the Wixos PSP game, and I played a tiny bit of it when I was first learning JP, and I always meant to go back. I'm really interested to see what it's like. I'll have to do that at some point. Maybe it'd be a good stream game. We'll have a whole... You know how we're going through our Pokemon arc right now? We're going to have a whole card game arc after Castle comes out. Alright, I think we don't need to do much more. We also got to play Cave Story on stream. I think after the demo comes out, I'll play Cave Story. Like the big like story demo. Fun fact, the first video game to have a gacha mechanic was Cave Story. I want you to have fun with Dokutsu Monogatari, but be honest with you. I like it, Will. I like it. I already can say I liked it. I played it for 5 minutes, but I like it. I just didn't love it enough to want to play at that time. I played it at a time where I was basically quitting video games, which is why I didn't play it much, so... Yeah, oh no, he said Wixos, but I confused it with Waze Schwartz. I was thinking of Waze Schwartz. Yes, I also want to play the Waze Schwartz. Because there was the Waze Schwartz PSP game. I want to play that as well. Yes, Bobby, we got plans. It's usually Vietnamese people. Yeah, as long as it's not India, that's better. India is where things get really bad. Gams has been on his burner hyping up the Gaijin replay. Oh, God. Gams has been being pretty funny these days. We call him, Carol, we call him Gam CC as a joke because he made that, because he made that one tweet about, penis sizes. This is what we call... This is what we call Gams in my my Japanese learner private chat thing. Yeah, that's the lame thing about Waze Shorts, Will. It's just friggin' screenshots. I don't like when things do that. Like, you always want each card to be, like, unique and cool. I feel like that's one of the things that was always like a big draw to obviously like Yu-Gi-Oh and stuff. It's such like a I forgot, Carol. I actually forgot. I forgot he even did that. The Japanese name. I think it was a set for most. Yeah, exactly, Unim. Yeah. Had some RBW cringe set. What else? Yeah, I think we will call this done in 2 seconds. All right, let's just mirror it now. But yeah, I did want to get into Vanguard a little bit as well. What I don't like some of the concepts in Vanguard. But I did want to try it. I did want to play it. We'll definitely try that. We'll hit all the big ones. We'll play all the major ones. Yes, I do have a Pokemon card collection from the original set. I did collect them as a kid, the original sets. I stopped once Gold and Silver came out, basically. I bought one Gold and Silver set. That was it. I lost some of them over the years, but I still have a decent number of first set Pokemon cards. Oh, you still got, yeah. I have a decent number of those of the team. I do have a decent number of the Team Rocket set. I think it's the first 3 sets are the ones I have, or however many it was until Gold and Silver came out. I love so many of the artworks on those and shit. They added like so much like just like aestheticness to the whole thing and stuff. Some others I traded for some heads, yeah. That's 64 games. A retroactively bad trade. My brother did pull from a pack a holographic Charizard, which even back when it came out was worth like a good amount of money, but he fucking lost it, as every kid did. Unfortunately, but
He's
yeah.
still bitter about it.
He's still bitter about it, yeah. I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh my god. Will, most people played the Pokemon card game from the Game Boy, trading card game, which is actually really good, and it got a Japan only sequel, which is really good. Oh, you've never seen a Charizard in person? It's a really really good digital gamification of the Pokemon card game. The Pokemon card game is really fun, and it is a good game. I don't know what it became. Yeah, the OSC. I love the OSC. The Pokemon card game is a genuinely good card game. I don't know what it's become. I hear it's gotten kind of wacky these days, but it was a pretty good game. It does feel a lot like playing the card game. I don't like it. It kind of relies on, its biggest obvious problem is how much it relies on coin flips. I don't love the coin flips. Most people don't love the coin flips. And it went hard with the coin flips. It's also pretty much the polar opposite of Yu-Gi-Oh! In that card advantage doesn't even really exist much. Like the original Pokemon card game set, you are constantly trading out your cards, and you can search your deck really easily with it in the original game. You can draw cards really easily. It was way more about like quickly figuring out what your opponent wants to do, and then like quickly, which I guess is pretty similar to the actual game. But yeah, quickly figuring out what your opponent wants to do and then doing the best thing to stop them from doing it, and then just praying to RNGesus. That's pretty much what the game was all about. Oh my god, this is the worst. This is the worst song ever, by the way. This song is basically if like Tom Pearl videos were put into song form. Yeah, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Dungeon Dice. I remember when they made that. I never actually got a chance to play it. I tried making a board game combined with a card game that's like chess if you could pick your Oh, interesting. No, it's Monster Golding. That sounds interesting. Well, how far did you develop it? If you developed it far enough, I would like to try it. Oh, 100. Yeah, I remember 100% Orange Juice. I never played it myself. Ryan 9. No, I'm going to look him up right now, though. I was working on an RPG Maker card game that's a parody of everything, but then, yeah, that's funny. That is funny. Oh yeah, I ran into this dude. Yeah, I ran into him, and I didn't know what he was cooking, but I'll follow him. We'll see where he goes. Speaking of which, Wolfie's learning chess. Wolfie's learning chess, and he's going to be a grandmaster at chess because he has no problem putting stuff up his rear end. Wolfie was made for chess. Wolfie was built for chess. Oh, interesting, Will. Interesting. Yeah, we'll maybe share more info about it when you feel like it, because I'm interested. It says old as Fujinroku. That's Mountain of Faith, right? Also, I don't remember if that's how you actually say it. Came out. Oh, same comic kit. That's crazy. That's fucking nuts. Real Unk hours. Yeah, Fujinroku. Yeah, real Unk hours. Called Kanye Forces. Like this. Okay. All right, so I think what we're going to do is like that. Like that. I guess. Yeah, I guess like this is... This should be fine, I guess. One thing I've been really wanting to do for a while now, it's been causing me actual pain every time I play test, but I really want to remake the background particles in the game soon. I'm not going to do it on this stream, but I really want to do that soon because the current ones are starting to cause me actual physical pain, so... I have a pretty good idea for what I want them to look like. They should look really nice when I redo them. Yeah, this should go fine. All right, now we just gotta get this shit in the game. Also, I think we want a version of it. Fuck, we gotta make a tiny version of it too. That won't take that long. I think we want a version of it also that's pure blue so it can fade in with the blue and then... Fuck, I forgot we gotta make a tiny version. How are we doing on time? 3 hours. Yeah, that's not bad. Could be worse. How much? All right, so we gotta switch it to 85 by 197, I guess. This is all fucked up because it's not the same. It's not proportional. I didn't keep the freaking canvases proportional. What I'm gonna do, I'm actually gonna take it. I'm just gonna change its size by eye. That's the smart thing to do. Because it's more important about just what looks good. It doesn't have to be the exact. It doesn't have to be the exact ratio. Something like that should be fine. I moved the friggin' spray. I didn't want to do that. Fuck. Let's do this. Oh, let's do this. Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah, there's a little bit of drama. I think you need a plug-in, Will, to see them, unfortunately. And like I think you need a plug-in active. Here, let me look it up. Discord, see deleted messages as oh no, I think you can check. You can check the history. Oh no, yeah. You needed a bot that was unfortunately you needed a bot that was recording it, but that's alright. Yeah, some dude who's like pretty kind of on the more sizable end in the Western art sphere. I don't know. I don't want to say anything like I don't want to put words in his mouth because I didn't see it. But I guess he got a little bit triggered by the anatomy video. Probably didn't watch it because if he did watch it, he wouldn't have much of an argument. And I don't know if I don't know how triggered he was or if he was just trying to say his 2 cents in case there were misconceptions or something. I don't know exactly, but basically we had it turns out he looks at art. Yeah. That's right. Yeah, that's what he said. Yeah. Yeah, it's just really dumb cuz it's just like what do you even mean? Like okay, so, yeah, exactly, Elnu. It sounds like okay, yeah, he didn't watch the fucking video. There you go. People don't watch videos, they just respond to the title, yeah. Yeah, cuz it's like what? I'm gonna I'm trying to draw like, I'm trying to draw like Ken Sugimori. I'm going to look up like, I'm going to start incorporating elements of like Minowa's character designs on Vampire Hunter D. Like, no, that doesn't make sense. It's just like, there's a universal, that's what's ironic. There's a lot of universality to anime with anatomy stuff, but it's not what like Westerners will tell you. It's much more about stuff like abstract balance, line counts, general like shape rhythms and stuff. It's much more advanced stuff than the idea of like, did you know that there's a muscle that connects this bone to this bone? Like, just see, that's what I'm saying. It's like super basic shit that like anyone with an anatomy chart can know in 2 seconds. There's like nothing advanced about knowing what muscles, bones, and joints are in a body. It's actually incredibly simple. and it's not like a thing you practice. Um, it's just a thing you're aware of. Um, and what they're ironically doing, when they're saying like, yo, when they're doing the anatomy tart thing, they're not promoting this idea of like standards or like, it's the opposite. It's like they're trying to present this idea that like basic shit is the end all be all, so that when you then bring in a more advanced concept, actual advanced applications of anatomy, now they're going to get all pissy at you and say, no, you can't do that. It has to be, it has to be this totally simple concept. So yeah, that's basically that. This actually did crunch down pretty well, so I don't think I need to change that much. I guess because it's like a hard surface object. Faces always have to get like totally redone when I crunch them down. It's really, really annoying. But this one actually got away with being pretty nice overall. This area got a little bit weird. This track is a really good track. Oh yeah, sick. Thanks, W. Yeah, I put a lot of effort into the Oda regimen actually. So. Oh, based, yeah. Takako. Did I see Takako? I can't picture his or her art just from the name. She, I guess. No. Who is this? I guess I can't easily find it. Oh, I guess it's too quiet. You'll probably be able to hear it now. I just get scared of it being too loud because you'll definitely be able to hear it now, even if it's really quiet. My goal is for it to be mostly quiet. Quiet enough where you can bulldoze it with your own music if you want. That's what I liked about Liam's streams back in the day. He would always have it at like, he had like the perfect volume balance where like you could still hear him talk but overpower the Mario noises with music. And then somewhere along the line it got a little bit louder. User 5 cents. Yes, that's right. The last one was a Euphoria one. extremely good. All right, let's finish this up. You just gotta smooth this area out. Yeah, I'm really happy I got the odor regimen out because I didn't realize how many people wanted a type of thing like that, so I'm really happy that that's out now. And I can keep expanding on it now, and obviously with future volumes and shit, and it'll just be like a really nice thing to show in YouTube vids and stuff. It's just a nice asset to have. I'm glad I took the time out to make it now rather than later. It's funny too because like the topics in it, like, directional changes and shit. Directional changes are kind of just like a forbidden topic. Like, Japanese artists don't like talking about them because it's just they don't there's an unwritten rule in Japan where you just don't talk about drawing that delicately. And then in the West, there's just not even that's just not even how they draw in the first place. The Western styles don't have a sophisticated they're not built on a sophisticated concept of directional changes in the first place. In fact, a lot of styles, like Disney styles, for example, are built on like swooping generalizing strokes are integral to the style itself, and they end up just being fundamentally simpler for it. And unless you were to like animeify them, which you could do, you can animeify Western styles if you want. But yeah, unless you were to animeify it, it literally can't even, it can't even do the concept of directional changes in the way Japanese art does. So. I think I'm just gonna crush this down into 1 pixel. Yeah, exactly. Well, because the problem is too is like a lot of the time that stuff doesn't show up. Howard Clips fans are tuned. The main reason that Taboo developed was just because Japan was very kind of cultish about teaching for the longest time. Like, you would get in big shit with like the big artists if you put out teaching material. Like, they would not like you for that. Like, all the big artists of the industry would become, you'd be making an enemy out of them by teaching pretty much at all. Now that we have YouTube and stuff and a lot more people are doing it, they've been forced to be less like that. But they decided on kind of a line you don't cross. Like, okay, it's okay. Yeah, it's yeah, exactly. Like locksmithing, yeah. Coldy Max. Yeah, it's just like they just are really nervous about it because they just don't, because it's so competitive of an industry. They don't, you know, they just don't want to give away their secrets and stuff. Not like it would change much. I mean, it takes a gazillion hours to be able to do it well, but they're paranoid basically. The thing is that there are competitors who are extremely good who would be yet better by knowing. It's not like everyone who's amazing knows everything. So there are extremely good people who don't know the tricks of other extremely good people. So that's part of it. Because yeah, the problem is will too. Like, there's so many factors in the human body. Anatomy does not show up the same way every time. Like, it shows up very differently depending on the person and depending on the context. And different art styles are built around showing off these concepts in very different ways. So, like, you can have like a trapezius muscle and it can just end up as a totally different shape than its like more medical shape, both IRL and in art. So it's like, what do people think they're even memorizing when they try to take like a medical approach to it? Like, nothing. You're not. Oh shit! I'm mixing sides. Like, you're not memorizing anything at that point. You're just creating a placebo. You're just creating a placebo effect, basically. Both, because learning a style is fundamental. There's not this let's put it like this. Styles are not well-developed styles are not add-ons to what is fundamental. They're crystallizations of it. So learning fundies is inherent to learning a style. So it's both. Family Guy. No, I didn't know that, Doctor. That sounds funny as hell. Yeah, Doctor. Yeah. Well, yeah, because Yokai uses a kids anime style, and those can get very subtle, and abstract. But it's all still there. It's still working off of the same, the same complex logic that would go into a more obviously anatomy-y look. So, absolutely. Yes, exactly, Charles, exactly. Because especially, this is why I say look at anime so much, because anime, like anime for animation, is so systemized and so it's the product of hyper specificity and very essential application of what's universal. So you're getting both at once. You're both getting like specificity taken to its limit and universalness taken to its limit. So like the two concepts are in harmony is the point. Style and universality are one and the same at a high level. The Bugs Bunny copy I did was ironically pretty easy. Yeah. Well, I actually didn't even know you did that. That was a really good copy. It was a genuinely really good Bugs Bunny copy. Actually, funny, I can show it at this point because the project totally is not happening. But like some boomers on a whim like asked me to design some Disney shit for them, and they paid me like a couple $100 for it because they thought they were gonna do some big like project with it, and it ended up like going nowhere. So I can show it to you at this point. Where is it? Yeah. So this was something I did kind of recently. I gave them 3. Yeah, I did think someone else did it well. I gave them 3. This one was like more anime leaning. Like I wanted to see if they were okay with something more anime leaning. And then these 2 were me after doing some Looney Tunes copies. But yeah, they didn't. Yeah, exactly. Foghorn Edgelord. They didn't want to do the project after they sobered up. This was pretty fun to do though. They did pay me a little bit though. Yo, Bada. The 3D anime snack world. No. That sounds interesting though. Yeah, exactly, Doctor. Yeah, that's how there's like kids anime styles. Like they kind of have like a whole meta to them. But they're still like related to every other type of anime. Some styles are like slightly kids anime, like because you can have like a hybrid. You can have like it's like sort of kids anime. So, oh, this is interesting. Yeah, this is interesting. Yeah, because it almost looks like it almost is like superficially incorporating Pixar-isms, but like interesting. Because yeah, like when you see the 2D concept art, it's very anime looking. But when they put it into 3D, it ends up looking almost more... when they put it into 3D, it ends up looking almost like, like anyone could have done it in terms of like any country. But it still has an anime edge in 3D for sure, but like interesting. Yeah. It's always interesting when you see those... when you see stuff like that, when you see like... almost like... kind of like Western inspired or Western leaning anime stuff. Because it can help you like kind of get it can kind of increase your sense for the differences, basically. Actually kind of like that pixel like that. I feel like it's a little too much though. Yeah, this is fine. We'll just go with this. All right. All right, both zooms are done. We can get this out now. It needs a... Oh, shit. What the fuck did I just do? All right, let's see. I mean, like, obviously we can polish these things further, but since I want Castle to get done and not to never get done, I have to keep like a certain polish standard with everything in it and not go like past that, basically, because it would cause problems in terms of actually getting shit done to take it too far. All right, let's get the shit in the game now. Yeah, Doremi is a very cute style. I was actually helping someone with it recently. Doremi. I was helping someone kind of break it down and learn it, so I ended up getting a little bit of practice in it. A gentleman and a scholar. What a downgrade from 2D to 3D, exactly. It's interesting because like every time the best animators can jump around to any style, but like when you're not used to a certain like category of style, it can be a big shock. Like if you've never done like shoujo before, and you try some shoujo shit, it can really shake your whole thing up. It can be a very humbling experience. Like some styles just really do not. Some styles will fight what you're used to and force you to kind of rebuild. Oh shit! What am I doing? I can just do this. Yeah. So like I try to. At some point, I want to hit. Like. I want to be comfortable with at least one style in every category of style. But it will be a bit before I'm able to do that. All right, nice. Oh god, that was annoying. Oh yeah, the Kenko cross. He's been exposed to a pretty good amount of styles at this point. Definitely close enough to stuff we've already done. All right. I gotta think about how I want to do this. All right, so I guess mostly smooth base. Yeah, I think probably smooth and sharp, if I had to guess. Because it's effectively like a classic Aerogay adjacent type thing. Yeah, for sure. Because it's in that kind of family of I mean, manga is kind of a dumb thing to say because manga is so generalizing, but manga / Aerogay type core. The thing is because of the way you ink manga, it tends to promote certain types of looks and stuff. Certain types of shape systems tend to get represented more than others. But yeah, smooth and sharp are the main things you're getting there. All right, so the question is, do we want to do a thing where it's because typically from the enemy side, there's not supposed to be like, when the enemy does something, there's not supposed to be like a lot of animation to it. But the question is, should we make it like grow? Or should we make it like fade? I think we're going to make it grow. Yeah. University does tend to shit all over scheduling like that because it asks for inconsistent timings of things and stuff. Okay. Yo, Fumo. Yeah, the one Umine, because I know that the Umineko manga went through. It goes through different artists for each arc, I think, or something. I don't know, but I do know which one you're talking about. All right, I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna make. I'm going to get off because we're doing short streams in like a sec. But I want to at least get like, not really animation, like, but I guess we'll just call it animation. I just want to get animation for these shield things going. And then I'm going to make like sprite sheets out of them and shit. And then I have to do a bunch of like, there's a bunch of like annoying routine shit I have to do every time I put in crap. And then I'm going to work on the video a little bit. But I will unironically actually not Liam voice stream again tomorrow. We're going to keep doing these like shorter streams, 4 to 6 hours. And, we're just going to do them till the demo is out. My parents don't really leave me alone. Yeah. Thanks for stopping by, Alma. The question. Okay, I'm thinking 3 frames. Doctor, you're gonna be really excited to see what happens when you kill enemies in Castle. By the way, we have some really cool stuff planned for when you kill an enemy. But yeah, take it easy, everyone. Thanks for showing up. And I will see you tomorrow for sure. And I'm going to work on a video too, so there will. I'm actually going to balance streaming and video making for once.